Welcome back to the OHL Tonight on your TV. 3-1 the score as the Brantford Bulldogs lead the Peterborough Petes. And now joined by Peterborough Petes GM Mike Oak ringside. Mike, thanks for joining me. It's the day after the deadline. Time for you to breathe a little bit?
It's definitely a really busy time of year. And, I know it's stressful for a lot of people as well. Myself and the coaches and the scouts, we're looking at different reports that we have on players that might be available and lots to consider, and I know it's stressful for the players. They're anxious at this time of year knowing that there might be something in the works where they would be moving to another team. But this year we were relatively quiet, and we're quite excited with the couple of moves we've been able to make since Christmas, and we're looking forward to the second half.
Undeniable moments this season that have been tough for you guys to deal with. The start of the year, a couple of losing streaks along the way, but some bright spots. You beat the Barrie Colts in your most recent action. You're finding some guys who are starting to develop at this point in the season. You add Rio Kaiser. But for you guys as a group, picking out those positives, how much of a focus is it?
Well, it is. I mean, we knew that this year was going to be a learning year and a development year for the team. And one of the things that we're most excited about is the young guys are playing, and they're playing lots. We did have a bit of a losing streak at the start of the year, but, we were losing games by 1 goal or losing games late, and we knew that it was going to come. The players knew that it was going to come. We just have stayed with it, and we've seen the results, especially in the last 8 weeks. We've really been getting some positive results. The players feel good about themselves. The coaches feel good about the message that they're delivering, and we're seeing the results here on the ice.
When you start to build projections of your players as you acquire them, you start to build out plans for yourself, imagining where they're going to end up. As you look at that at this stage of the season, how do you feel about the progression?
Yeah, we feel really good. We know that we're building around the 07 age group and the 08 age group, and one of the things that we're excited about this season is we've got some terrific older players that are going to show and lead the way for those younger players. The captain and Jonathan Malie and his group of assistants have done a terrific job of keeping everybody energized, motivated, positive, despite some of the tough nights we've had and close games that we've had. And so those are lessons that we're going to be able to utilize not only in the second half here now, but moving into next season and the year after. It's never going to be easy. You're going to have ups and downs no matter what kind of a season you're in. And as long as we can continue to learn, we're going to get the benefit that will pay off.
What's more stressful, going through a rebuilding season like this or a championship season like 2 years ago?
You know what, there's different types of stresses. It doesn't matter, whether you're in a rebuild or a reload, or whether you're in a season where you think you should be one of the contenders. There's always different stresses, and the big thing is we have to, try and, be calm and be patient. Don't get too high with the highs, don't get too low with the lows, and that eventually, the high of winning an OHL championship on home ice. I don't know if you can beat that high. You'll certainly enjoyed it, but now our focus is on doing it again.
And making sure that you can close out this season on a positive note. But another thing you're going to be looking ahead to is the OHL draft. Now, the focus is there every year. This year, it's going to be another top prospect that you're looking at getting. What's it like in the war room for the Peterborough Petes trying to prepare for the draft at this point in the season?
Well, our scouts, again, have done a terrific job. When you look at this year's group of young players that have come in, obviously we've got some, real bright prospects, high picks like Colin Fitzgerald and Blake Gowan. But also joining us this year as 16-year-olds, you look at players that were selected in the 5th round. Adam Levac and Gensula have both stepped in and shown that they're more than able to play at this level, so that's exciting. Our scouts are doing the exact same thing right now for the 09 age group. We've had some meetings. We're going to continue to scout and evaluate. Lots of great hockey coming up. And I know, as always, we'll be really prepared for the draft when it arrives in April.
Now, last year you did add several players who were selected in the first round of the OHL draft. Caden Taylor, Aiden Young, Nico Addy, Carson Cameron, your own selection. So Cameron and Addy, they're going to go play in the top prospects game next Wednesday. They're also on the NHL Central Scouting list. For the other two guys who kind of had those aspirations as well, how do you deal with them when they maybe hit a road bump?
Well, you know what? There's a lot of really good players eligible for the NHL draft, and quite frankly, I think all of the players that you just mentioned, I know that Aiden Young and Carson Cameron are going to play in the game. I really believe that players like Caden Taylor and Nico Addy are more than worthy of being participants in that game. Some NHL teams have told me privately they're excited that they're not, because they think that maybe they can get a little a hidden gem there and maybe not as much notoriety. So all 4 of those players, along with a lot of other guys that are potential picks, are being recognized and noticed by the NHL scouts, and I know that each of those players that I mentioned and all of our guys, they're here to play for not only the Peterborough Petes, but they also want to make sure individually they're putting their best foot forward for future opportunities.
As you take the temperature of the team, where would you say they're at right now at this stage in the season, nearing 40 games?
Energized. I think the addition of Rio Kaiser and Brady Stonehouse really energized the group. Both players have come in and really shown right away that they're a positive influence. They've shown that they have the skill and ability to play at the OHL level, contribute. I know they're both opposite spectrums as far as size. Rio being over 6'6", and Brady being a little under 6. But both of them are both great players in their own right, and I know that they'll certainly serve us well this year and moving forward.
Yes, I got to reach for the sky while interviewing Rio Kaiser on Thursday night's game against the Barrie Colts. I think everybody in this section was taking pictures and laughing. But talk about the Pete's Mafia. We've touched on this in the past, the tentacles and how far-reaching it is. Liam Kirk, a Peterborough Pete's import selection, played with the Berlin Polar Bears, 7 games on the Berlin Polar Bears this season. Rio Kaiser. Do you guys reach out to Liam Kirk at all as part of trying to convince Rio to join the team?
You know what? I think it was kind of organically. I think Rio was, it's amazing when you talk to these players, whether they're from Europe or whether they're from here in North America, when you talk to them about the Peterborough Petes, they've done their own homework. I picked up Rio in Ottawa after the World Junior Championships concluded with Germany's win in the relegation game, and on the way to North Bay, Rio was very clear. He knew a lot about the Petes, and so he'd been doing his own research, and I think he was really excited about the opportunity to stay here in North America, get a complete different set of eyes on him from NHL scouts, and the same goes, for the kids here in Ontario now. A lot of them do their research. They know all about the Peterborough Petes.
Rio Kaiser just needs to pick up some clothes, I understand.
He's a little. It was a last-minute decision on his part. He came over with enough to survive for a couple of weeks, but I know he's got a care package coming later next week with the warmer dress clothes, and we found out how difficult it can be to find a pair of pants for someone that's 6'6".
We'll find a big and tall store for Rio Kaiser somewhere around Peterborough. Mike, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thanks, Dan.
There's Mike Oak, the GM of the Peterborough Petes, or second period coming up next.